Hello, everyone. Welcome to Shooting the Brass, Scooter's Brass channel, sponsored by AJI Sporting Goods. If you're in the Phoenix area and you want some good deals on firearms and accessories, please visit my sponsor. They help me so that I can compete and bring you fun, exciting shows like this. That's AJI Sporting Goods. They're in East Mesa, east of Signal Butte on the trail. So it's been a busy week. Of course, everybody knows COVID stuff is starting to spring up again, just like it has like 4 times now over the past year and a half. So to try to get away from the depressing part of the news, we have a wonderful guest today, somebody that my wife and I support and just love to watch her content because she's doing a lot of good things for the 2A community. Excuse me. So let me introduce you to the American Gun Chic. Very, very popular, been in lots of movies. She's here. And it's taken a while because she's really busy, and I'm really glad she could make it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Hey, everyone.
So go into, because I've watched a lot of your content. How did you get started in the self-defense type movement, especially with 2A? Because you don't see a lot of women out there making a lot of the content and doing a lot of the things that you do. So you're kind of in your own class just based on that.
Yeah, man, I get this question a lot. And I see why people would be curious because I came out of nowhere, but I wish I had a cooler answer for you, but I honestly it just came out of nowhere. Just one day we decided to go shooting and recorded it, uploaded it, and put it on YouTube, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, that's so cool," this and that, and it felt really good to conquer that fear because I was obviously when I first started shooting was terrified to shoot and thought it was really scary, and I thought that was cool that I conquered that fear and I got over that and I was excited, so I just continued to do shooting. So I continued to shoot in my backyard, not knowing anything, no fundamentals or no classes, nothing, and just uploaded it some more, and a lot of I was getting good reactions from a lot of girls. A lot of husbands were saying that they were getting their wives to go shooting because of me, because their wives were watching it and they were like, "Hey, that's so cool, maybe I could go do that." And then that's when instructors reached out to me and I got proper training, and then just took a ton of classes, and I was uploading all of my classes, of course. And it started to just turn into a YouTube channel, like a full-time thing where I was taking it seriously, and it just kept snowballing bigger and bigger from there. I didn't think that I would ever, when I first started my channel, I didn't think that I would ever get the type of training that I've had. And then after getting all that training, I never thought that I would become an instructor. And so it just kept going up and up and up, and until the point where I became an activist. I'm a pro 2A activist and a firearms instructor, and I support and believe in the Second Amendment more than anything in this country and more than anything in my life, pretty much. So it kind of stemmed out of nowhere, but I'm glad that it took me where it took me, So it shows you never be afraid to just jump in there and do something, even if people think you look stupid. Who cares,
And that's the same thing I went through, because I first started my first competition shooting in 2018 at the Independence Day Action Rifle Match. It was my very first competition ever. I was nervous as hell, and the first stage I got into, I had to sit in a kayak that was on this sawhorse thing that they were rocking back and forth while you're trying to shoot at these targets that are 150 to 200 yards away. It was hilarious. I loved it because I think I ranked 18th overall out of 80 on that stage. I sucked the rest of the match, but that one I nailed. I got it down. But it was a step towards how I started doing Scooter's Brass is, other people, because let's face it, I'm kind of middle-aged. I'm in my 50s. I think that trying to get people in my age group and demographic to actually start competing at such a late age was a good idea. So that's why I started Scooter's Brass. And one of the things I think you and I both agree on totally is the sincere need for training.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about going to the gun range once a month and plinking off rounds at a stationary target. I'm talking about specific training, safety, how to break down your guns, clean your guns, all that kind of stuff. And that's kind of where I've tried to get people engaged. And I know you've done a lot of that because a lot of your videos, like you just did one about what to wear to the range. I mean, I've seen a lot of your videos. My wife is a big fan. And so when you are doing your training, you're actually trying to get women more involved in actually personal protection.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that's the priority. Safe personal protection.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, that's the goal. And like where I started, I like to leave those videos up of me starting from scratch and not knowing what I'm doing. And some of those videos, they're bad. I don't have any fundamentals. I'm not hitting the target where I want to hit it, and all that stuff. And I'm getting ridiculed in the comments. But I think it's good that I have those videos and then my current videos now. So when girls go to my channel, they can watch me from way back in the day, and it kind of will inspire them and show them like we're not all born great at anything, and I'm still learning, I'm not to where I want to be. I'll never be to where I want to be. I always want to keep improving and learning and getting better and better, but I think that's good, because a lot of people don't upload all their failures and mistakes and mess ups,
Right. And that's the thing is like most of the shooter channels I see is all about, look how I did on this stage. Look how I did on this stage. And the first time I got disqualified in a match, that was the first video I put up there was, look, I had an accidental discharge. This is what it looks like when you screw up. Okay. And then I've got some blooper videos and stuff like that. And I think that's one of the things that is good is so that people can see, because I had a friend of mine that was going through and looking at my videos and specifically said that over the past 3 years, just watching your first videos and how you competed to how you're competing now is a huge, huge jump in experience and knowledge and performance. And that's one of those things that I think people need to understand is you'll never get better if you don't practice, and you have to practice regularly or you lose it.
Yeah, exactly. That's true.
And when you're doing your classes, because you do them, you're not just local in one local area. You're like all over the place. You're like over on the East Coast, like last weekend or something, and you do all these different classes around the Southeast area, for basically from Texas over to Georgia, and you're interacting in bringing a lot of people into the sport. How many of those people are you seeing coming in that are new shooters that don't have much in the way of previous experience?
Most of them, I would say, we do get some that know about us or hear about us and just love our channel, support us, and have shot before, or are work at the gun range, or are instructors. But the majority of them that show up, their husbands own guns, and maybe they've been shooting here and there or whatever, but they don't really know anything,
Mm-hmm. And that's why you call it the honey badger, right?
Well, we call it the honey badger because the honey badger itself is an animal that's fearless and something that, honey badgers, they go into beehives getting stung and they'll eat that honey because they're hungry and they want it, or they'll fight lions and fight cobra snakes, and they're adorable. If you look at them, they're really cute. You wouldn't think that this thing would attack you or it could even be vicious or anything. And honey badgers are one of the deadliest. They were ranked in Guinness, I think it was Guinness Book of being one of the most fearless animals on the planet. And that's how I try to live my life and represent myself to these other women. And this is how I want these other women to feel, that they can be themselves. They can be beautiful and girly and all these things. They don't have to mold into that societal butch haircut or dressing all tactical and being a tomboy all the time. They can still be themselves, but not be a victim, Sure. So you don't have to look like those things, but you can still be a badass and defend yourself and be fearless and stay in the fight no matter what,
Right. And that's one of the things too, I mean, my wife has just as many guns as I do. She doesn't compete, but she knows how to use them. She can cycle them. She's still working on learning a little bit more about clearing jams and stuff like that. But from a standpoint of your average person at the gun range, she's, 100% better than all of them without competing, just because of practice. Okay, I'm practicing reloading. I'm practicing this. I'm practicing that. And I think, like my mom came to me before she moved back to Seattle. She's 76 years old. She's a Navy vet. She had me go with her to the gun store to get a gun because she was going to be traveling alone. and she wanted to protect herself. And so we got her a nice Taurus 38 special, took her to the gun range, made sure she knew how to use it and everything. And that's the thing, people have to be, in their own defense, fearless. They have to be able to do what needs to be done. And that's one of the things that you're teaching in a lot of your training stuff, is this is how you do not become a victim.
Yeah, exactly. Being a victim is a choice, like you can choose to rely on other people to come and protect you and save you, or you can rely on yourself, so.
Well, I know that if I call 911, it's at least 7 minutes before they get here. And I'm not going to wait that long. That's just me. If they manage to actually get into the house and get past the 150 pounds of dogs, they've chosen to be a victim at that point. Yeah. And that's one of the things. It's important. You have to be able to protect yourself, because honestly, I mean, we have some great men and women in blue, but if they can't get to you in time, you have to take that upon yourself. You can't give it to them.
Yeah. Well, and people that rely on the police solely for protection, like, oh, if anything bad happens, I'll, keep your cell phone on you, call 911, this and that, that's a terrible method of protecting yourself, because police officers and all these people, they're humans too, and they want to go home to their families too at the end of the day, and they want to survive too. So if something's going on, you got to understand that they'll be there to protect you, but they're still human, so they might not do as good as a job as you would want them to do.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're all human. We're all human, and we all have infallibilities, which is the importance of training. For the past 3 years, I've competed, so all of the skills that I have with firearms are now not conscious thought; they're more muscle memory. So I will draw and prep and target and everything without thinking about it, and that's why practicing and such is so important. Is so it takes away the hesitation that's in here.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, we were talking before the show. My favorite episode, of course, that you've put out is the zombie apocalypse in Vegas. How did that come about? How did this all happen? Because the footage that you posted and everything with it was, you were like in like beat up buses, and I think there was a camper that you were in at one time, and it was like an actual city with people that were zombies. And it was airsoft, because they get upset about using regular firearms against employees. But I did not hear of that until I saw your video.
Yeah.
And it was the greatest thing since sliced bread to me. I was like, oh my God, I got to go do this. How was that for you?
That was a lot of fun. You're referring to just the zombie apocalypse video, not the music video, right?
Yeah. The one where you were actually shooting through, and you guys were working as a team, clearing the rooms and stuff like that.
Yeah, that was
awesome.
That was Apocalypse Vegas, and that place was really cool. It's set up really nicely, and they invited me out to just go kill some zombies, and I invited Black Rambo out, and we made a whole video out of it. It was a lot of fun. We just got to go in there, and we were there with some other guys that were just random guys that were doing it for fun too, and we were just clearing rooms. The mission was to find the cure. So open the fridge, and there'll be like a little Gatorade bottle or a little vial with like some neon liquid in there and stuff. And you just got to collect those and go from room to room. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. That was a blast. Who doesn't want to kill zombies,
So the big question is, though, how much did you learn from that? Because you actually had moving and active targets. So how much did you learn from that?
Well, I did apply, because before that I took a lot of like CQB classes and a few like room clearing stuff and stuff like that. So I did try to apply some of that stuff when I was in there. But it was so much fun. I was just thinking about shooting the zombies, and that was more like a little fun thing. But I definitely was trying to use my tactics and all that stuff.
Well, I mean, it looked like it worked out real well. I mean, I was just like, wow, this is awesome. I got to try this one of these days. We don't have anything like that here in Arizona. but I wish they would. Honestly, if I was a millionaire all of a sudden, if I won the Powerball or something, I'd probably set something like that up to have like zombie
Yeah,
apocalypse in Arizona just for fun.
that'd be a good
Um,
idea.
Now you also do a lot of stuff with gear. Um, I know my wife and I ordered a holster for her from Just Holster It, I think is what it is.
Yeah, just
Yeah, so we saw your video and everything, and the holsters look solid. So we ordered one for her her everyday carry, and it was a good holster. It still is a good holster.
yeah.
It's really solid. Um, so how did you get into doing like endorsements of equipment or testing of equipment? Was that something that kind of fell in later?
Kind of. I just feel like, well, with every YouTuber that is going to be using these things a lot. Like, obviously, I have a gun YouTube channel, so I'm going to be using holsters a lot and ear protection a lot and stuff like that. People reach out to you, and I have another person that helps me out and handles like the emails for me and handles some of the business. How do I word it? The business side
aspect.
yeah, the business side a little bit for me. So it kind of makes it a little bit easier. But, of course, companies will reach out to you when you have a YouTube channel and all that stuff because it helps get their brand out there. And then it helps me so I don't have to, spend all this money on getting all the gear and all this stuff because it adds up, with doing all these videos. And if you're buying your own gear and all this stuff, it almost makes it to where you have to get a second job just to pay for your YouTube channel,
Yeah, yeah, I know. Trust me, I spent a lot of money over the past year in reloading, because with the current situation in the United States, getting ammo has just been horrendous. When you're paying $35-$40 a box of 9mm, when it used to be like $12.95, it's hard. And then if you can find it, that's if you can actually find it on the shelves. Now it's actually getting a lot better. Whenever I go up to my sponsor's place, they actually have ammo pretty much regularly on their shelves. Their gun racks are all full again. So over the past year and a half, though, we've had such an influx of people going out and buying guns.
Yeah.
And my biggest fear with that is that people are going to go out, buy guns, and then don't know how to use them, don't do any training with them, don't understand how they operate, and they could easily make themselves a victim just because of inexperience. And that kind of scares me. So I'm always pitching with anybody that I help, because I've helped a lot of people, especially actually a lot of liberals these days, buying their first firearm. And that's one of the first things I push is, like, for example, if you go to AJI and you buy a firearm there, they give you an hour free at Ted's range in Gilbert so that you can go to the gun range and they will help you learn how to use your gun. And I stress people always get training. I don't care if you've seen a gun in a movie somewhere. It's not the same thing.
Yeah.
So please get training.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy these days. I mean, I literally, because, I'm the liberal. I mean, you sent us a picture one day and you signed it as my favorite liberals, which was hilarious. We loved it. Yeah. Which kind of takes me, to a different aspect and something that I've been working on for the past couple of years of trying to break the divide between liberal 2A supporters and conservative 2A supporters, because the media, of course, doesn't like to try to make that work because it doesn't follow their narrative. And I've been able to actually get a lot of people, especially like I've been working on TikTok, crazily enough, for a long time, trying to get people to understand that there are people like me that will stand next to you, Mr. Conservative or Mrs. Conservative, to support our Second Amendment rights. And I think overall, in the big scheme of it, if we don't get those two sides together to make an equal force, it's going to be a problem. Yeah. So what's your take on that?
Yeah, I think it's already become a problem. There's divide and conquer. Divide and conquer. Tongue twister. And that's what they're doing right now. It obviously with everything like the Trump supporters versus the Biden supporters, or liberal conservative. Like, it just seems like they're splitting it right in half, and everyone's arguing, everyone's mad at each other. But if we can all agree, if we can all agree on one thing, which is that we all need to own firearms and we all need to support the Second Amendment, then there's not much that they can do about that. So I think it is good, even you being a liberal, if you have liberal friends or people that are liberal around you, to keep spreading this message. And maybe some people that are liberals and that are anti-gun. Is that true?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, come on. Yeah, I know some people that are really, really hardcore anti-gun, and I don't really talk about them anymore or talk to them much
Yeah.
anymore, because that's the thing that the media and social media has done a really good job of, is basically breaking the idea that if you're a liberal, you can't support the Constitution or you can't be a
Yeah.
gun owner. And I've done I think a good job of breaking that stigma, because when I compete, there's not a lot of political talk on the range. It's all
Yeah.
about hitting your targets, moving from the right place, being safe, learning how to load, learning how to unload. And nobody really talks politics unless you're in a group of friends. Like I've got a friend of mine named John that's a very strong Trump supporter, and he's always poking at me about being a liberal, and I'm always poking at him about being a conservative. But it's in fun. It's both of us understanding that we're there for the same reason, regardless of political affiliation. So it's nice, and it's been a challenge, but I think I've actually kind of sort of made some, you know, uh, progress, especially on TikTok. I mean, I've got like 1,500 followers on TikTok, which is unusual for me, and most of them are conservatives that are surprised that a liberal is going to be so outspoken about the Second Amendment and how important it is.
Yeah.
And
And I mean, that's awesome that most people are accepting and not trying to like push you out or get mad at you or anything like that. So that's awesome. But the people that you do know that are anti-gun, I mean, we got to work on them the hardest and show them, show them.
I keep inviting them to the range. It's like, come down. I will let you shoot an AR-15 so you can see that it's not what the media is telling you it is. Come down. I'll show you how to shoot a handgun so you can see that the media, and nobody ever takes me up on it.
Yeah.
And the ones that I have helped from the liberal side are actually members of the Arizona Democratic Party who secretly own guns, and they understand, but they lose their position if they voice that, which to me sucks, which is why I left the Democratic Party a long time ago. Is, I'm sorry, if you support the Constitution, you have to support all of it, regardless of what your personal beliefs are. It's the law of the land. It's the law of our country. And getting people, it's funny when they come and say, hey, Scott, I kind of want to get a gun. Where can I go? And then I help them, and I say, get training, and I'll train you myself, stuff like that. And they're into it. And they actually kind of are into it. And then they realize after firing a gun at targets and this, that, and the other, and learning how to do it, it's not such a scary thing. And that's a big thing. Now, Kara's mom, on the other hand, we took her to the gun range once. And after she fired my grandma's 38 and took the lights out in the bay, she never touched a gun again. And that's fine, because she shot out the lights with a 38. But I mean, overall, that's one of the reasons why I do what I do, is to try to get more people involved in working on it. And that's one of the reasons why I like so much what you do, is because you don't have a whole lot of politic in your stuff. It's all about training and how to do this and how to do that. And that's, I think, the important part of what you're doing that matches what I'm trying to do, is to get people out there and get them experience.
Yeah, exactly. Because it doesn't matter what you look like, who you voted for, what skin color you are, gender, religion, anything. If you live in this country and you care about your freedoms and you care about continuing to be whatever makes you individual, like freedom of religion and being able to not be discriminated against because of your color, this and that. If you care about all those things, then you would support the Second Amendment, so you can defend yourself from anybody that would be trying to take anything away from you that makes you, Right. So I am really trying to help more people see that, and, hopefully we can turn this around and more people can become pro Second Amendment. The problem is, I think some people think that they're pro Second Amendment in their head, but then they're really not, and they don't understand. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people that say, I'm pro Second Amendment. I just don't think you should have AR-15s. You can have pistols and this and that. I'm like, that's not being pro Second Amendment. And being pro Second Amendment means that you have whatever you need. And we all know why the Second Amendment was created. It was created in case the government decides they want to break bad on all of us and go crazy, you know, or do some dictatorship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's one of the things too is that a lot of people I deal with, and in the liberal side of the 2A community, we call those people that say that they're 2A but say you shouldn't own an AR-15. We call those FUDs.
Yeah,
I don't know why, but that's what we call them. Because the biggest thing I hate is the whole, well, the Constitution was written when we had muskets. They didn't envision AR-15s. It's like, oh yeah, okay, let's take that. Okay, you look at the fact that the people that wrote the Constitution were alive when we were using flintlocks up to cannons, up to muskets. They knew when they wrote the Constitution that there was going to be an evolution of firearms, just like they saw when they were alive. They didn't limit it by firearm. It's a right. It's a right to bear arms, period. It doesn't say what kind. It doesn't limit it.
And we're going to get more advanced as time goes on. And, you know, obviously what they meant was, you know, that that the government isn't more powerful than its people. And the people has enough power to be able to stop them if they try to do something tyrannical towards us. And so if the government is advancing with all their technology and their self-defense and stuff, what's the problem if the civilians are doing the same, you know?
Right.
So, and it didn't say anything about muskets to begin with in the Constitution. So
yeah, it says the right to bear arms. It doesn't dictate what kind. It just says arms. Sword, spear, cannon. To me, arms is arms, and whatever you use to defend yourself and your home and your family, it would be considered covered by the Second Amendment. If I throw a bag of flour at you, okay, it's still an arm of some sort because at least I stopped you from coming into my house. I know that's kind of stupid, but it just came to mind. But I mean, just overall, I mean, I would not have a problem if I could put a small cannon in the front yard, just in case. You never know. But a lot of people don't understand that. Even people in the Second Amendment community, or the ones like you talking about that say that they are Second Amendment supporters, and then not understand the Second Amendment, understand why and how it was written.
The Second Amendment is such a word that they just throw out there that I'm like, does everybody need a history lesson all over again? I mean, they wrote the Second Amendment specifically in case our government decided that they want to become tyrannical towards us and just be really evil towards us, because when they wrote it, it was right after they were dealing with the same thing, right? So why it's the Second Amendment really isn't for like robbing a gas station. We all know what it's really written for, but nobody ever wants to say it because it's kind of controversial and you can get in trouble sometimes.
And then the media spins it and it turns into a disaster. So speaking of media, another offshoot here, I keep getting banned on TikTok. And because I show some of my competition videos, and they'll like flag them as illegal activities or dangerous goods. And I just had one that just got actually overturned. I sent in an appeal, and they said, yeah, okay, you're not doing anything bad. We'll go ahead and put it back up. But I've also noticed, like on Facebook, my Facebook page, hardly anybody sees any of my posts. And it's always telling me, boost your post, boost your post. And then when I try to do it, oh, sorry, you have firearms, we can't boost it. And it's the same thing on YouTube. I'm not getting a lot of people seeing my videos on YouTube. Gun streamers, a lot better, but that's because it's dedicated specifically towards firearms and whatnot. But do you have the same problem where you have social media that's kind of like downing your stuff?
Oh, yeah, of course. And I think everybody does. You know, because sometimes just on my some of my videos on YouTube, they flagged and took down, and then 3 years later they said we reviewed it and it's actually okay. Here you go. And then I get demonetized a lot, and then they unsubscribe people all the time. I recently saw where I have like recording of it where I saw, if you look at the analytics, they were just deleting subscribers one after another. It was just going down right in front of my face. I could see it, and I'm like, this is just crazy, you know. So and then people would teach me, like, hey, did you stop uploading videos? And I'm like, I didn't. And they're like, oh, I had to go back and check. I was unsubscribed. And yeah, they play dirty.
Yeah, and yeah, I'm getting to notice that, especially with TikTok. TikTok's annoying the hell out of me, you know.
Yeah, TikTok
And
is
like with Facebook, they're posting on Facebook and showing me advertisements of like the male enhancement pills and all this other stuff, and yet I show a picture of a sporting event where I'm competing against other people, kind of like the shooting events at the Olympics where they're shooting against people that they broadcast all the time, and they ban it or they throw it off, or nobody ever sees it. And
yeah.
it irritates me because I don't think you're ever gonna find. I mean, Gunstreamer is pretty good, but it's not a lot popular as like YouTube and Facebook and stuff like that. So you're not gonna have the fan base there that you would on Facebook or YouTube. But having these companies or whatnot dictate what is or isn't appropriate when you're basically educating people with your videos, right? Isn't that what we're supposed to do? Educate, disseminate information, share, and then they ban it?
TikTok will never let anything pro-gun become viral, or they won't turn into that because they're connected to like all the same networks and stuff, and they're very like they're against all that stuff. And what's stupid is you get things like YouTube that are trying to get rid of all like videos that are showing guns in a positive light, but then they'll allow those prank videos where people are walking by and act like they dropped a loaded gun, like it's a fake gun or whatever. Well, I don't know if it's real or fake, but it's supposed to be like a joke, like a prank. They're dropping their gun and people run away, and like bomb pranks and stupid stuff. I'm like, you're allowing that stuff on there, but you're not allowing people to show proper use with a firearm and how you should handle a firearm safely. Like, okay.
Right. Yeah, that's one that I see quite a bit, is like somebody hiding behind a hedge and then somebody going, no, 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 no. And they like make a gunfire sound and the person falls down and everybody runs away. And it's like, yeah, you're showing a probable terrorist act right here on your screen. But hey, me shooting stage 2 at the local 3-gun match? No, that's bad.
Those pranks are so stupid. Could you imagine if the wrong person saw that and they thought something was really going on?
Yeah, imagine a cop rolling up and then doing that with a cop right there, and all of a sudden the cop comes out, shoots the person behind the hedge, and now they're the bad guy because people were doing something totally stupid and very irresponsible.
Or me, if I walked up, I'd be like, well, I don't know what this is.
Yeah, I know. I'd be in defensive mode right away. Just sorry. You were stupid. I mean, you play stupid games, you get stupid prizes, and that would be one of them. So what kind of stuff do you have coming up in the future? Because I know you guys are really busy and you're all over the place. Are we actually going to be able to get you out to Arizona to shoot a match with us one time?
Never say never. Never say never. We do a lot and we go a lot of places and we're always doing stuff. So you never know, hopefully it'd be sometime when it's a little bit cooler. It's hot over there right now, huh?
A little bit. Actually, this year has been a very moderate summer. We're in the very low 100s this week, and then next week we're down in the 90s. Usually it's 110. So with the monsoon season this year and the lack of El Nino and La Nina or whatever the hell that stuff is, we've had a very, very temperate summer this year, which kind of scares me because going into winter it's going to be 150 degrees or some shit. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people aren't doing a whole lot of shit. I shoot the July 4th match every year because it benefits the Phoenix Children's Hospital. So I could be sweating my ass off and, having heat stroke and stuff like that, but it's a really good cause. But yeah, at the local, like monthly matches and stuff like that, you see a big downturn in participation during the summer just because it's, well, I don't know, 110 outside and that takes people down fast. So,
yeah, well, I have family in Utah, so we go to Vegas sometimes, and I have family in California and stuff like that. So Arizona's not that far. So, if we make it towards there in that area, then I'll definitely let you know, and that'd be something awesome. And the future we have just lots of classes planned out, and we're gonna, probably record a lot of videos here in Texas. And yeah, I mean, you never know with the future. There can be so many things that pop up.
Right. Yeah, I know it's a very dynamic situation these days with everything going on. But yeah, so I mean, sometime if you're actually going to be coming through Arizona, let us know. Now we do have big matches coming up. We have Red October, which is supposed to be fun. I was supposed to shoot in it last year, but I forgot all of my ammo and all my magazines at home. I had everything else, but I left all my magazines and all my ammo at home, so I didn't get to shoot. But then we got the Mystery Mountain 3-gun in March, and it was really an honor because Jerry Mikulik was there, and he was shooting. I was the range officer on stage 10. I got to see him shoot live, first time ever, and that was just really incredible. That man is amazing. And he's kind of, a lot of his videos is what got me into 3-gun in the first place, was watching this guy, because it's like, that's pretty cool, you know. And then of course I saw John Wick, and you know, I had to get into it. But yeah, I mean, we do have a lot of matches out here, especially the big ones. It would be fun to be able to get you guys out here for one of those big matches, because I mean that would be a lot of video footage that would go a long way, especially if you you know, it's just fun. I just really enjoy that match. It's very, very intense, but of course I shoot with the staff because I'm a range officer most of the time. But yeah, when you guys are coming out this way, let us know, because even if we just had lunch or something, it would be really cool.
For sure.
What was the other thing I wanted to ask you about? There was something I just had a few minutes ago, and it went boop because I'm getting old.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, well, you know, you can tell by the lack of hair that I'm getting up there in ages.
Something about training, or
no, the parody videos. Okay, now I remember at a time where you sent me a shirt, and this shirt was from your the Tiger King video that you did.
Oh yeah,
the rainbow shirt that you sent me, and then I wore it to work the next day.
Yeah,
that was hilarious.
That was awesome.
So the parody videos. Where did you start doing that? Oh, bless you, bless you. That's allergies, not COVID. Allergies, not COVID.
Yeah.
How did you get into the parody thing? Because those are hilarious. I mean, the bunny suit with the floaty, and how did you come up with this? Because it's hilarious. I love it. We got the DVD or the CD that you sent us and everything, and we see the videos and stuff on YouTube and whatnot. How did you go that route? Because it's hilarious. It's really funny. I really love those.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, those are a lot of fun. Well, the first song or music video I did, or song in general, was the Everybody Hates Me, and that got inspired because everybody hated me, basically, so I had to make a video about it. And well, it was really two YouTubers that were just being total douche nozzles, because I invented this dust covers, basically like a bib, and I guess they don't like capitalism and women creating their own products, so they got all pissed off and said, "That's degrading towards women, you gun bunny." And I'm like, okay, that makes sense. You just called me a gun bunny, but it's degrading towards women. But anyway, they were being total, like, these are grown adults, but they were being super immature, really stupid, and a lot of people were chiming in because a lot of people are like sheep, and if they see everybody talking crap and ganging up, then they're going to gang up too. So I got a lot of hate on that video. You could probably go watch that video on my Facebook. It had like 100,000 views, and yeah, there's the shirt. I love it. And it was just a bunch of hate. So I was like, you know what? Screw these people. I'm going to take a Tom McDonald song and I'm going to remix it, my own version of Everybody Hates Me, and call out all the flaws of the gun community and why they claim they're all inclusive, but outsiders hear nothing but noise. And and I included all the people, the YouTubers that were hating on me and everything, and I just shut everybody up, and it worked, and it was a great video. And after that, I was like, wow, that was a lot of fun. Maybe I should do another video. And then I wrote a Disney princess song and on the fly, and I just decided to do that. And then so we kind of just decided to start doing more and more stuff. And then with the Joe Exotic video where I'm dancing around with a flamethrower and all that, we got sent the XM42, and we told them that we would make them a cool, because that was in the time of the Joe Exotic thing was going on.
Right.
So we told them that we would make them a cool Joe Exotic music video, and that's kind of where that stemmed from. And I thought it would be funny and hilarious, and yeah, so.
And I got the shirt to prove it. I thought one of the ones I liked the most was your "I'm Just a Gun Girl."
Oh,
because Kara loved that one. She was like, "Oh, that's me. That's me."
yeah.
And they're like, "Well, yeah, that is you. Got a gun. Just don't shoot
Yeah.
me with it, okay?"
That one needs video to go with it, But the videos take a lot of time and a lot of work to make. You have to go to like different locations, and they take so much time.
Yeah, even my competition videos. I mean, I'll spend 3 or 4 hours just trying to cut 3 stages into a small one video. So, I mean, it takes a lot of time and effort to put that stuff together. And a lot of people don't realize that. They don't understand the background. I mean, I've got a Bachelor of Science in theater for sound, lighting, special effects, and stuff like that. So I know what it takes to actually do video editing and the sound editing and all that stuff to get it all into a package. So that's a lot of work. So, I mean, you guys do really good on that, though. But, I mean, the parody videos and songs are just hilarious. I just love those. And I think it's a very humorous way to kind of show the absurdities that we see on a daily basis. So I give you guys a prop up for that one because that's just great. It really is.
Thank you. Yeah, you're getting your message out in kind of a fun way, and you can roast people, and you can be savage and talk smack and put the truth out there. But if you're doing it in a song, it's almost like you're doing it in like a lighthearted, nice way. But it's almost more savage, kind of,
Right? Yeah, yeah. Other than these angry people on the internet that are just screaming at their camera all the time and saying, "Oh well," because I saw a video, I can't remember who it was, but they were kind of bagging on you, and I was watching it, and they're like, "Well, she talks about self-defense for women, and she's always shooting with all these guys." And I was like, "Okay, well, if she's getting training with these guys, doesn't she have to shoot with them? I mean,
I mean,
yeah, it was just one of those things, and I'm just like, it doesn't make sense because you train with who knows the skill, regardless of male, female, or whatever, right? Because you've been out to Terran Tactical, right?
Yeah. So and I would, and there was a lot of women there that were teaching me and stuff. I would take a class. I don't care what's between your legs, if you're a man or a woman. What matters to me is if you're good and you have a lot of credentials, you can actually teach me some stuff, and I can take this and apply it to people that I teach and apply it to my YouTube channel. It just happens to be that there's more men with experience with firearms and training than there are women. There's hardly any women firearms trainers. So that person saying that was literally just grabbing anything they could just to bash.
Right, just to bash. And that was something I was talking with a friend of mine this morning. It seems like we have become the society in America of, I'm going to troll you. It doesn't have any value. It doesn't have any real reason to do stuff like that. But it's still the same thing. Why do we have to if somebody's doing something they love and they enjoy and they feel empowered by, why do we have to bag on that? I'm not the best 3-gunner in the world. I'm not the best shooter in the world, but I'm having a lot of fun. So I don't care if people say, "Hey, you should have did this," or "Oh, you should try this firearm because that one sucks." Or it's like, I do what I feel comfortable with, and if you don't like my firearm, that's your problem, not mine. So, it's kind of nice.
Yeah, in the gun world, I've noticed that so many people have that you need to do this and that. Everybody's a gun expert in the gun world, and everybody wants to hate on everybody else, and
Yeah. I mean, I've run into several experts on the range. I've watched several of them DQ. I've DQ'd at least one myself. That was all bragging. It was a Superstition Mountain Mystery 3-gun 2020, and I was range officer on stage 3. And we had a guy that did he accidentally discharged into the shotgun barrel, which is kind of funny to watch. He went to get his shotgun out of the barrel, he was putting it back in the barrel, and you're supposed to safety it to put it in the barrel, and he forgot to safety it. And when he pulled his hand out to let go of it, he pulled the trigger, and it blew the bottom of the barrel out. And it's like, I'm sorry, you're disqualified, expert. Because he spent a lot of time bragging about his skills. And I saw a guy, and I can't remember what his name is. We were doing the PCC tactical shotgun match at Rio Salado, and he is a A1 shooter. I mean, just dynamic. He won the Superstition Mountain in 2019. I mean, an incredible shooter. He made a mistake. His shotgun went off 2 feet in front of him when he was running. And he just cleared his shotgun and he says, "I'm done. I made a mistake. I'm out of here. And a lot of people argue, well, I didn't. But it's like, look, we have to be safe in this sport. We have to be. And that's where training comes in. If I disqualify myself, I did it. They didn't. I did it. I mean, my first disqualification, I had a accidental discharge with my shotgun because I was switching from slugs to birdshot. And when I ejected the magazine, I still had a slug in the chamber. And my middle finger somehow got into the finger guard and pulled the trigger while I was transitioning. I knew it was a goof. I knew it was bad. Yeah. I stopped. I cleared my gun. I'm like, okay, yeah, I screwed up. It was a safe discharge. It went into the bank in the back end, but still, it was still an accidental discharge. So, and that's one of the things that I don't see a lot of people understanding is that these shooting competitions, safety is like the top priority at every stage.
Yeah, I mean, things happen, you know, but as long as you are like owning up to it and you're like, yeah, like I made a mistake, you know, that's no hard feelings. But yeah, the worst is some people that are they're so embarrassed that they're like, I didn't do that. Or, you know, I've had friends where they're, you know, messing around with a firearm and their fingers on the trigger. And I'm like, hey, you know, can you keep your finger off the trigger? And they're like, oh, it's not loaded. And I'm like, I don't care. You know, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter if it's loaded. You never put your finger in the trigger until you're ready to shoot.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, I mean, that's one of the things too. The other ones that we run into in competition are the ones that are so competitive that if you do penalize them or critique them or something like that, they become offended.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you know, I've been doing this for years. Well, yeah, well, you just did this on my stage. You're out of here, buddy. I've had that happen too.
But then those are the people that will criticize everyone else, I feel like, you know.
Right, yeah, because they think they're the professional. They're the one with all the experience. Okay, well, well, you, Mr. All Experience, just had an accidental discharge and you blew the end out of your barrel. Sorry, you're out of here.
Yeah.
Because we had that at the PCC match last year where we had somebody do that.
Like I am a firearms instructor, you know, I have classes and I teach people and all this stuff. But if somebody ever was trying to give me techniques or teach me things or anything, I always listen. I'm not like, well, who are you? You know, like, I don't know. A lot of people like are prideful in this industry and they feel like they're going to get embarrassed if they learn something from somebody else or it's just weird, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, people have you know, especially if they've been doing it a long time, they have a sense of, it's like a little bit of an arrogance to where they think, oh, well, you know, I couldn't have made that mistake. Yeah, you did. We got it on video. We'll show it to you because we did have that where we had one guy that complained that I think we stage DQ'd him and he complained to the range master. And somebody actually happened to be filming it at the time, and they showed the video to the range master, and he said, "Nope, they're correct. You're out of here. You lost the stage." And that's the other thing with as much people videotaping nowadays is you can actually see what happens, and that's one of the reasons why I started posting my videos is so I could learn from my own watching myself. Where did I do here? Why did I do that? Why shouldn't I have done this? And it's been really helpful. And I think a lot of people don't like when others criticize them or give them constructive criticism because I don't know, it makes them feel, I love it when somebody says, hey, it was, what was it? 2 matches ago, we had a stage where I had to use a sling on my AR and I'm not really skilled that much with slings because I don't use them. Although I've been practicing since then. But I was putting the sling on my weak shoulder so that when I dropped my AR behind me, it hung up on my handgun. Yeah. And so when I drew my handgun, I broke the 180 coming out of my holster. And he pulled me aside after the stage because apparently nobody else caught it, but he did. And he pulled me aside. And we had a little discussion about it. He's like, okay, here's some things that you need to work on because it's really important you don't break the 180 because if you do that in a competition, you're disqualified. Nobody else saw it. I'm not going to say anything, but here's what you should do. And he's obviously a very skilled shooter that has a lot more skill than me because I watched him and he's like, oh, wow, that's pretty fucking good. But that's the thing is I like being critiqued based on stuff like that because it prevents me from doing it again. I learn from it. And but then you have the other side. The other side of that is people don't learn from it. They get upset and they walk away saying, well, I can't believe you said something like that. him saying something
Yeah.
like that could be the difference between somebody getting shot. So it's important.
And plus, he was being nice about it. You know, like I'm okay with people giving me tips and critiquing me and stuff like that. What you don't like though is when people are rude about it. And usually when people are rude about it, it's the people on the internet, because nobody will ever say that to your face. When people are like, "Oh, you suck at this," or "never do this," or like, you know, "never go gun up." Those are the people that will never say it to your face. But you know, when people are nice about, you know, it's different.
Good old keyboard commandos. We love those folks.
Yeah,
a lot of entertainment on the internet.
We call them internet RSOs.
Yeah, pretty much. I haven't had too much of those on my stuff, but I don't really reach a lot of people. But I did have one time where we were doing a PCC match, because they have a PCC tactical shotgun match they do out here every month. And I was doing shotgun, and I accidentally, when I was shooting, my shot clipped the wall, which is one of those barricades with the fencing in it that makes it look like a wall. It clipped one side of the wall. And this guy got all over me at the end of it about how I'm not supposed to shoot the walls. It was my second PCC tactical shotgun match. I was like, you know, if he said, "Hey, you know, let me give you some advice," that would have been one thing. But he was like, "You're not supposed to do this, and you shot this, and you're not a good." And I'm like, this is a great way to get people involved. Thanks, guy. Appreciate it. So yeah, it's hard to watch from those guys. You know, you got the good ones and you got the bad ones. There, I've seen a lot of people. I've dealt with a lot of people that most of the interactions I've had on the range have been very positive. They give you tips. They give you ideas. They never, you know, call you names or tell you suck or anything like that. They're very helpful. Yeah. There are some out there that'll do the opposite, but on the range, we're all out there doing the same thing. And if you can help somebody, my son and his girlfriend came out last year, and I was like, "You're going to be out here for a 3-gun match. Do you want to shoot?" And he'd never shot a 3-gun match. And he's like, he'd never shot any matches, him and his girlfriend, either one. And so I got him set up. I talked to the range office, or the range manager, or the match manager, match director, and he got us in all in the same squad and everything, and got us set up. And then we had a mentor that on the second set of levels, they sent a mentor out to each squad to help new shooters learn how to shoot and be safe and work with them. And it was the greatest time ever. Me and my son and his girlfriend, we all shot together. I made him look bad. I told him, you know, he's never going to be as good as the old man. He says, "Yeah, you're old, dude," you know, stuff like that. We're talking smack back and forth. But it was nice having an experienced shooter mentoring, other than me, mentoring my son and his girlfriend to help them get through the stages and have fun. Yeah. And we don't see a lot of that. It's sad that we don't see a lot of that, because that's what brings more people into the actual sport of shooting.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I've only been to a few competitions, not a lot. I've really focused on tactical training, and that's really what I like to focus on and what I'll continue to focus on. But I do competitions here and there just because that's a good thing to mix into the channel and stuff like that, and meet people. And I like to be inclusive with everything. Everything with firearms. But, you know, some competitions I've been to, people are either really quiet and ignore you and kind of standoffish, and you could tell that they're not that nice. And then some places they're really nice. You know, like there was one spot in Lexington, Kentucky, and they were probably the nicest people I've ever met at a match. Some people recognized my channel, and they were just super friendly, and they were all like, you know, "We got a famous celebrity here." Like, they were being super nice, and they were super helpful and encouraging and stuff. And then, you know, I've been to some places where, you know, I had friends try to introduce me to people. They're like, "Oh, okay, yeah. What is this chick doing here?" You know? So you get a mixture of different things kind of, but I'll never forget that one steel match I went to where everybody was super nice. So if you're a competition shooter and you're really welcoming and really nice to people that you've never seen before, because it's usually a club of where they all know each other. If there's a newbie there and you're super sweet to them, they're gonna remember that. Trust me, they're gonna remember that, and they're probably gonna want to show up again and all that stuff. So
yeah, and that's the thing, you know, is sportsmanship is a really good part of competition shooting. Is just, you know, being the, you know, the sportsman about it. Okay, yeah, I sucked on that stage. You did a hell of a job. And then if you do better on the stage, being able to say, look, I noticed that you had problems with this. Let me help you with some ideas.
Yeah.
And not being condescending or a douche nozzle.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. So I was asked to point out the picture over my shoulder, right about there.
Oh, I saw that. I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, we have, I think, 2 or 3 of those. We have the one of you in the actual the big floaty. And the princess one. The princess one is hilarious. I love that. The princess with the AR-15. It's great.
Yeah.
So
I like how you framed it. That's cool.
Yeah, like I said, my wife is a big fan. So I'm kind of a fan too, I guess. I'll let you know I'm a fan. But
yeah.
So
we'll tell her I said hi. I don't know if
she says hi. She's waving. She's waving from the. She's trying to corral the dogs and wrangle them so they don't bark. So we've just got a few minutes. Tell everybody how they can find your different, like your YouTube, your website, all that kind of stuff, so that we can get people channeled over to your place. Hopefully, the 1 or 2 followers that I have would be helpful.
Well, does she want to come in too? I can be like, hey, what's up? Hey,
yeah, she's waving. She says, how are you? She can't hear you because I have headphones on.
Oh,
I'm good.
She said you need to work out more. Learning how to use the
I
shotgun. No, not that. She still hasn't shot her new
so.
shotgun yet, so I'm still hounding about that. She got a brand new VR-82 semi-automatic 20-gauge shotgun that she has not fired a round through.
Hey,
ever.
You better tell her. You better tell her that I did not say that. That's mean.
She knows. She knows. I give her a hard time all the time.
Tell her I said that she looks beautiful and wonderful.
She says you look beautiful and wonderful.
Oh, well, thank you.
She says you're lying, but thanks.
Yeah,
okay, she didn't say that. That was a paraphrase from me, but So let everybody know how they can find you.
So if you guys want to check out my stuff and see more about me and what I do and everything, go to YouTube, American Gun Chic. It's right here and where he put it right here so you can see it. American Gun Chic. I'm also on Instagram as American Gun Chic, Facebook as American Gun Chic, Twitter, all those things. But I don't really use those things as much. But also, I'm on Patreon. Go to patreon.com/American Gun Chic if you guys want to contribute to this mission of me getting girls shooting. And with the money from Patreon, we put it back in our business account, so we're able to travel and host these classes and host classes here in town and create more content and stuff like that. And if you guys have any ladies in your life and you want to get them involved and you just don't know how, show them my videos. Show them some of my earlier videos where I was just a girl not knowing nothing, and then show them some of my more current videos where I went from that to that. And if that doesn't inspire them, nothing will, because that really shows you where you can go from having zero knowledge to knowing a lot, So and then if you guys ever want to take a class, you can sign up at AmericanGunChic.com and go to the classes. We have a class here in Conroe, Texas on September 18th and 19th coming up. So if you're in the area, and then we have another one on October 2nd and 3rd in Lexington, Kentucky. So come up and take class.
And I can guarantee you that if you follow her Patreon, you get cool shirts or something like that. You do, and you're supporting a good cause, especially in getting people trained and bringing more people into the Second Amendment community, because that's what we're all about at this point. We want to bring people in and get stuff done. So I really appreciate you being on the show with me today. I know you guys have been really, really busy. I'm glad you could put a little spot in here for this. Interested to see what your next video posts and stuff are, and love what you do. I mean, keep doing it, because you're making a difference whether people tell you that or not. You really are, and that's what's important.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me on here and interviewing me, and just letting me talk and say all my stuff.
Yeah, loved having you here. So, for those of you still listening, we'll be back again next week. I'm not sure what we're going to talk about, but I'm thinking that we're going to talk about some survival stuff, as in preparation. We'll look at different things that you need to know for preparation type stuff in case of catastrophes, like communications, being able to cook without power, stuff like that. That may be down the line and hopefully some other stuff. So thanks for listening in today, folks. Really enjoyed it. I hope you had a good time. And follow me, Scooters Brass, on Facebook and YouTube. Follow her everywhere else that she's at, because she's on everything. And be a part of changing this country to understand the importance of the Second Amendment and training. So
that's right.
Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good weekend.